How's everybody doing tonight? Good. Doing good. I'm great to see a great turnout here at Cleburne County Mountain Center for a public discussion on Cleburne County Rescue Squad formation group as we sit up here at this time. I appreciate everybody coming out. It means a lot to us. I'd like to bring Mr. Warren Sorrell III up here and let him say the blessing for us before we get started tonight.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity we have here to gather together for the benefit of this county. Lord, please let this meeting run smoothly. Please let it be an honest meeting and a truly open meeting. Let's open our mind, our ears, and let's guard our tongue so that we can do what's right by this county. And Lord, please be with those that have been affected by this storm, those that are affected by the fires. And Lord, please be with this country. I believe there's been a revival started in it, and I hope that it will continue through. We know we pray. Amen.
Like I said, we appreciate everybody coming out tonight to hear about the Cleburne County Rescue Squad, potential rescue squad in Cleburne County. Who I got sitting up here, myself, Hayden Hester, I'm the captain of the rescue squad. I got First Lieutenant Bashir Holsey sitting right here to my right. I got our Secretary, Ms. Kimothy Johnson, sitting to my left. Also to my left is Mr. Warren Sorrell, our treasurer, and also Mr. Adam Dyson here, locally known in Cleburne County. Almost everybody up here is locally known in Cleburne County, except for this one man over here in the red shirt from the Alabama State Association of Rescue Squads, and is the training coordinator for the State of Alabama Association of Rescue Squads, Mr. Jim Dennis. He is also the captain, basically in layman terms, is chief of Children'sburg Rescue Squad down in Talladega County. And we're here tonight to tell you about the Cleburne County Rescue Squad and how it can benefit Cleburne County. We're going to first start out. Cleburne County is a very tourism county. We border Georgia, we border Calhoun, that's got a bunch of tourism down there also bringing stuff here to Cleburne County. We're in Lake County, and everybody loves this county. But also at the same time, there's people that go hiking in this county. We promote tourism all the time. We promote the Pinhoti Trail, we promote the Ladiga Trail here in Cleburne County. A bunch of people bike the Ladiga Trail. Some friends of mine bike it. I've had to go pick people up off the Ladiga Trail because they fell down and got in the woods and got lost. But also on top of that, what we aim to do is make Cleburne County at the end of the day, if you go out on the trail and you get lost, call 911. And the best thing about calling 911 is us as a rescue squad. Us as a rescue squad, we can come out and we can help you and get you safe and get you home at the end of the day. The best thing about the rescue squad that we can bring to Cleburne County, and we will start out doing land search rescues for Cleburne County, and we will possibly venture into other types of search and rescue for Cleburne County in the future. I'm going to bring Mr. Jim Dennis up here. He's going to tell us about the state association and how it can help us if we get into an issue and if we get stuck on a call and we don't have personnel or we need help. Well, we have over 100 rescue squads in the state of Alabama that can come help us right now.
How do y'all do it? As he stated, I'm a member of the Alabama Association Rescue Squad. I'm also the state training coordinator, so I get to deal with all the training, getting everybody up to speed on how to search. The Alabama Association Rescue Squad has a multitude of resources that are available. If you form a rescue squad here and Hayden gives a call, he needs more resources, personnel, equipment, just different resources. We're one phone call away. With one phone call, he can get more squads coming in that are close in. If it's bad enough, or he needs a massive amount of resources, there are over 4,000 members in our association that he can pull from. There are a lot of specialty. We have drone teams, we have divers, we have water rescue and water recovery, we have cave rescue. There's a number of resources that would be available to Cleburne County in this instance. For example, everybody's very familiar with the lady that was lost up here in Cleburne here recently. I was here for that call. We have, our association has 120 dog teams currently, and we deployed 14 of those teams up here looking for her. And it's a very broad resource that If I needed more, it's a phone call that they get in. And it allows us to be able to work together as teams. Our training is very extensive. When something like this happens, and I'm just going to use the system because this is what most people is recent, and the public wants to come and help, and that is wonderful. Their hearts are in the right place, but they don't have the training that is needed to go out and look for them. And you say, well, I've walked in the woods all my life, I'm a hunter, and this, that, and the other. But what you don't realize is that you can destroy signs that we use to be able to track, or for the dogs, for that matter, to be able to use. And I'm just going to use one small part of it. It's the thing that everybody's most common with, the footprint. When you walk in the woods, I can take your footprint, and I can get within 20 pounds of how much you weigh. I can get within 3 or 4 inches of how tall you are. I can tell if you're right-handed or left-handed, if you're a male or female. I can tell if you're hurt. I can tell if you're trying to evade us and everything by the way that you're walking, if you're walking or running, or if you're shuffling backwards. I can also tell, based on the stride between the footprints, how much ground you can cover in an hour. And these are just a few of the things that Cleburne County Rescue Squad would take advantage of learning this training. And the advantage of learning training like this gives them the advantage that the chance for success in bringing somebody back out alive is a lot greater than just doing a shotgun approach and going out into the woods. And they will also learn different techniques for searching for a person. And finding them is half the battle. I mean, finding a person in the woods that is lost, most of the time it's going to be a child, it's going to be somebody with an altered mental status. Occasionally it's the hunter or the hiker that just got lost. But most of their calls is going to be an elderly or a child or something that is lost. And their mental status is not quite where it needs to be. And so when you find them, you've got to convince them that you're there to help. You're not there to do them any harm, to be able to get them out. They will learn a lot of training on this. They will also learn how to navigate in the woods efficiently, how to be able to chart their courses electronically, so and be able to take digital photos and everything to send back to a command post, which will help to make searches more successful, cut down on time that is basically wasted time. Searches years ago, somebody was lost, unless you got lucky, you might be out 2 or 3 days hunting. Now, we try to find, with technology, we're able to do it within just a few hours most of the time. We do have searches occasionally that last a lot longer, but most are settled in just a few hours or less. Hayden approached me about getting the rescue squad started here, and you're in a very good area for it. There is a definite need. It's not something that is not needed. And the question that I would put with you, and if I think everyone of you think about it for just a moment, and I'm just going to give you a bad scenario. Just picture it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's cold outside, it's raining, and as a parent, you get up, and the back door is open, and your child is missing. What is it worth for you to be able to equip a rescue squad with trained individuals to go out to find your child? For me, I'd give everything I own and then some. And I imagine that's the same with you. But that's what the training for the rescue squads is very important about. The calls, it's not the frequency of, like with the fire department. You're seeing the fire departments up and down the road every day in ambulances. And they are emergency services, but it's a different service. They can be idle 2 or 3 months, not get a single call, but they're trained. And then it happens. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 calls in 1 month. And it's sporadic. My call volume in Chillisburg, where I'm a captain, for the month of January right now, we're at the 13th. I've had 2 calls. This time last year, I had 17 calls. And so there's no rhyme or reason per se to what happens or when it happens. But the thing is, it's not if, it's when. So the catch is to be prepared when it does happen. And if they are formed and with your support, we will get them trained to where they are able to do the job that is asked of them, to find a lost person in the woods. In time, they probably will increase their avenues of search. Now, if you need a diver, he gets a call and it's a lost person, they see they need a diver, that's not a problem. One phone call, he's got all the divers at his disposal he needs. If he needs drones, we can put our drone teams in. They may end up at some point with a drone team. As they grow and they learn, we will advance their skill set to where that they can do even more. We're starting out with land search because here, that is most prevalent to what you have. You do have some bodies of water, obviously, and everything that needs a water team. But there are water teams all around you. We have one with Cleburne, Randolph County has one. Clay has a rescue squad that does water as well. Cherokee County, so you're surrounded, so your water side is covered pretty good. And all those can help cover the land side as far as the land search. But the thing is, you call, I'm just going to use Cleburne for example, you call us, we're a little over an hour away. And that's if we were sitting at the station ready to go. But we've got to get there, we have to put our equipment that we need for this search on our trucks and then come. So we're going to lose about an hour and a half after you call before we're here. If they're formed, they get the call, they're right on top of it. Every minute that is saved increases that person's chance of survival that is lost. So I hope that gives a little bit of explanation on us. But the resources that are available, it goes from a drone to a dog to a diver to a helicopter, whatever is needed. And the resources are very extensive. We are partnered with ALEA. We are also partnered with the Alabama Fire College. There's right at a little over 100 squads in the state of Alabama. And our dog teams are throughout the state, as well as water rescue and land search teams. So there's a lot of resources available for him to call to get help if needed. There's no shortage of really resources because not only in Alabama do we have this availability, we're also partnered with Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, and other states that have rescue squads as well. And if the need is great enough, we can actually pull from other states. We had a call roughly a little over a year ago. I pulled multiple units out of Tennessee to help us because we had a call on the north end of the state. I needed assistance, and so we used the northern end of the state's resources, and I pulled from Tennessee because they were closer than the southern end of our state. So we worked together. Recently, when hurricanes hit the mountains, my unit was deployed, and Hayden actually went with us. I let him go as an observer to kind of see what we're doing, how we work, and what we do. We were deployed to Irwin, Tennessee. Massive damage. Multiple cities were destroyed, and we set up landing zones. We took care of medical supplies, getting people help, doing search and recovery. At the same time, Florida had been hit by that same hurricane. We had several units from South Alabama that were deployed into Florida. So we assist other areas as well, and if, God forbid, we have that happen here, they will come and help us as well. So I hope that gives you a little bit of understanding on our side of it and how it can help Cleburne County. At this time, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, I appreciate you speaking about that, and like I said, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. If anybody is very interested in joining Cleburne County Rescue Squad and being a member with us, over here on the table I have applications in the middle, and then I have a roster sheet on the left. The biggest thing is We gotta have 10 people is our main goal, a minimum of 10 people to be accepted into the state association with the rescue squads. And that's what Mr. Jim spoke about. That's what we get from what he spoke about. That gives us a disposal. If we're in Montreal, we can call for Aaliyah, we can call for Childersburg, we can call for Mumford. Mumford has a rescue squad. They've been up and going for about a year now. And those are the people that went with me and him as I went as an observer all the way to Irving, Tennessee. And I'm going to be honest with you, after I went up there to Irving, Tennessee, and we ventured off in Hawthorne, North Carolina, helping out over there, those people are in very, very bad shape. I know some people up there just personally that I've spoken with as friends, and they just got the power turned back on last month, and they've been without power for months. If we could picture a major tornado or a major hurricane coming through and knocking everything up here in Cleburne County, to be honest with you, without a rescue squad, I don't know where we would be. Like we spoke about earlier, fire departments, sheriff's office, all the searches fall under the Cleburne County Sheriff's Office, and we've spoken with Mr. John Daniel and the Chief Deputy Patrick Nolan, and they are very supportive on a Cleburne County Rescue Squad as one, as long as it's under the association, about the Alabama Association of Rescue Squads. So what we aim to do, hopefully in February, I believe February 15th.
I think it's 15, yes.
Please, 15th, or is anybody welcome to come up there? If they want to see the rescue squad. I went up, I actually spoke with Mr. Jim. It's been basically going on about a year, basically. And I attended one of their meetings in Boaz, and I thought we're just going to show up and all sit at the table and have a good time. Well, no. There was well over at least 80 squads in existence, and people that I sat there and connected with. And I'm like, these are the people that we need coming to Cleburne County if we need assistance. Us being formed as a rescue squad, if we do get accepted to the Alabama Association of Rescue Squads, that gives us those people at our disposal. If we have something major happen, like we had a missing hiker, Miss Wendy, she got lost in the woods, and then several teams, I believe, from Talladega County and surrounding counties, with the sheriff's office and the local people and jurisdictions, they went out and helped and assisted. Well, the biggest thing is, what if Cleburne County would have had a rescue squad? Could that search possibly been turned into from, weeks into a couple of days? I don't know. But the biggest thing is, we don't have anything for search and rescue right now as of the moment. Like I said, the sheriff is over it. But the thing is they get a call, they go for a search and rescue, and then they get a bunch of calls in town. We got the fire departments. Our fire departments are struggling right now. And when I mean they are struggling, everybody in this county is struggling. And what we aim to do is come in here and hopefully help out the existing public safety organizations in our county and assist and be specialized in this type of training for Cleburne County. But also, if Calhoun County calls us, we can go and assist them. Because at the end of the day, they're going to come and assist us if we call for help. Talladega the same way. So, I'm going to turn it over basically to Mr. Adam Dysinger and how the rescue squad would help, especially being part of the Friends of the Talladega National Forest, how it would help on the Benhoe Trail.
I mean, sure, I can talk about that just for a few minutes. I mean, I'm sure everybody here knows that roughly a third of this county is owned by the Forest Service. And, any help, I know that we've had, just keeping up with it in the last 20 years, I know we've had, particularly around Chiaha, I know there are hikers that get lost, and I think most of that is Shinbone that's been helping out a lot with that.
Shinbone and Lake County.
Right, and be able to help with them, again, having something right here in Cleburne County that can assist with the Forest Service or the other rescue squads would be an excellent asset to have. So that's really about the only thing I can add to that. I'm sure I have spoken to the Forest Service, I've spoken to the ranger about this meeting, but I will be talking to him soon about that and let him know what's happening here in Cleveland. He may already know about it, and I'm sure that the Shoal Creek Ranger District and the Talladega Ranger District will be very interested and be a great partner for us. So, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So, does anybody got questions? Anybody want to be a member? What questions do you have for us? We're going to answer anything, especially Mr. Jim over here. If you got a question about what can this squad do, what can that squad do, I know he can answer that 100% better than I can. So,
criteria for joining?
The criteria for joining, at least being a resident of Cleburne County and live in surrounding counties around Cleburne County. There are several instances, like I believe there's some people that are in the Montford Rescue Squad also that are members of the Children's Rescue Squad and et cetera for other squads. You can be a member of more than one squad in the state association. I know there's several squads that share memberships across the board, and I know those squads are very grateful to have those memberships, you know, helping out other entities and everything like that.
There be any physical requirements or anything like that?
Physical requirement, where we're going to get into that is we're going to train. And the biggest thing with training is knowing the area, knowing your limitations. If we have some people over here that can barely walk, we're not going to send them into the woods. They're going to sit there at instant command post and be auxiliaries to the people, get supplies ready, send it to them. If we have a hiker and we can send a drone out, if we do get one, or we call a drone team in, we can pop a bag up in there, and if we know where the hiker's at, we can take them a radio. They can sit there and be communicating with the person that's lost or the person out in the woods, so they don't get scared and frightened, and basically just keep them calm and keep them stay put in the area.
Yeah, it's something to that. When you was asking about the physical requirements, not everybody is a frontline. I'm gonna use my squad for example. I have a lady that came to our squad a couple years ago. She is in her 70s. She laid it up front. She's not able to go out and search for people. She's not interested in doing rescue, but she wasn't sure that she wanted to help in some way. There is something for everybody. She helps us keep our building clean. She helps us also with fundraising, and so she works behind the scenes, so to speak. I have 2 young guys that are excellent auto mechanics. They can't stand the sight of blood, or they don't want to see a victim or nothing, so they make no calls, but they keep our vehicles in top-notch running order. There's a lot goes into a squad that's not just rescue of going out. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. There is paperwork from time to time that has to be done, the building to be kept up. There is equipment and vehicles that need to be maintained so they can efficiently make a call and be ready to go when needed. Fundraising. Maybe you don't want to be the one going out, but maybe you enjoy working with the public and would like to do the fundraising. Rescue squads are not supported financially by the state of Alabama. They are funded primarily through donations, fundraising, and grants for equipment and stuff. And the reason being is that they're not a true state agency. So we are regulated, but we're not governed per se by the state as far as like ALEA or the fire college over the firefighters and stuff there. They work directly for the state, we work with them. And so we are all volunteer, they're paid. And so they receive a salary for their services. They also have a budget that's appropriated through the state for them. We do not have that luxury. So that, fundraising, donations, and grant writing is very important. If you're good at grant writing, you'll be their best friend. If you like fundraising, it's a great cause and a great way of doing it. And rescue equipment is expensive. Unfortunately, it's not like going to Walmart and stuff. I mean, some of the things get very stupid. For example, I know we've all seen the cases where you see the person, they're carrying them out of the woods, and it's like in a basket. It's called a Stokes basket. Those things that go anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on what style, what model you get, and the capabilities of it. And that's just one piece of equipment that's needed. Vest for people. And I'm sure many of you work different jobs where you're required to wear a safety vest. Anything with a safety vest is not $5, $10. But when you are putting that safety vest on 10 or 20 members, it adds up real fast. And then there are insurance costs as well. Most our squads, we use VFIS, which is designed specifically for emergency services. So the cost is not that bad on the insurance. They do a wonderful job with us. They take excellent care of us. I can't say a single bad thing about VFIS at all. They are really great to work with. But the bottom line is still the cost. There's nothing that's free. I wish I could tell you it's free, but the only thing that's free in the rescue squad is your time as a volunteer, because the flashlight that you carry or the night vision that you're using, all of it costs money, and it has to come through either a grant or your squad would have to purchase it. So all of those are factors to be put in there as well. So they're going to need a lot of help, especially starting out, to get started. It's going to take, it takes money to make anything work. If any of you, and I'm sure there are business owners in here, you know what it took to get your business started. You had to count the cost before you started, and sometimes it gets astronomical. And then you also have the unexpected. Maybe you want to sell flashlights, you thought you got a good bargain, and they're not worth using as a boat anchor, so to speak. And so you have to get something better that actually does the job. And so, I just wanted to put those things into perspective also. But as far as the physical is the environment we will be in, searching. Are you able to walk long distance, or do you need to be on side by side, or in another capacity? But the bottom line, there is something that everyone can do in a rescue squad. If it's nothing but washing the truck to help keep it clean, displaying pride in your community and stuff. There's always something that you can do. And it's not just with rescue squads, fire departments need help, the volunteers. But I'm one also. You run to death and everything, and it takes a mountain of money to run a volunteer fire department. It takes less to run a rescue squad because the equipment's not quite as expensive as the fire side. But bottom line, regardless of what you do, it does take money to run, and they're going to need your help just like other agencies does.
What's going to be possible start at the cost, or bare minimum of equipment? How would we obtain that? How would we get started?
How do we get started? So getting started, we have to have a minimum of 10 individuals that are willing to join the rescue squad, because the state minimum associated by the AARS is 10 personnel. Each membership is paid to the AARS for membership in the AARS. Also, you're able to get workers' comp out of that also. There's a bunch of perks that come with it. Workers' comp is at a fairly cheap option, 100%. So to get voted in to the AARS, the equipment that we are required minimally to have, we currently all have at this time. To pay our dues to the AARS, we're looking at $250. And that's for 10 people, for the minimum, to have 10 people to be a part of the state association. Right now, the insurance quotes are coming from VFIS, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. I've been on the phone with them almost all week. Last week I know it was a bad week because snow and everything, everybody's closed and stuff like that. But for the time being, what we aim to do is basically run for the time being in our POVs. One of the perks that comes with joining the AARS is the state ADECA program. We're able to go down to Montgomery 3 or 4 times a year. 3
3 to 4, depending on how they set it up every year.
3 to 4 times a year. The best thing we can get, well, Cleburne County, they got rid of a school bus and it went down to the state surplus. We're able to get that school bus possibly. They got several boats down there. I know there's squads all the time in the AARS giving equipment to other squads and helping them out. I know y'all felt that a couple times in this past year, 2024.
Yeah, if a squad has a piece of equipment that we're not using anymore, maybe we upgraded or something, a lot of times we look at another squad that is needing something that will fit there, and we pass it over to them. I've got a boat in my squad right now that has been through 2 other rescue squads. I have it in mind now, it's fixing to be passed on to Elmore to help get their dive team started. I guess Chillsburg's kind of a collection point, so speaking a way of collecting surplus to be able to get it out to others. And so they'll be getting that boat. It's at no cost to the Cleburne County Rescue Squad. But they have divers, they have equipment, they still have a boat. And so this puts it in the run for them to have a boat where they can respond and make their dive team more effective. Right now, they are depending on another squad to come use their boat. So this will allow them to go direct out to a scene and use it. That's just one example. I'm not going to tell you we got a fleet of vehicles that we hand out, but we don't. But occasionally in our programs that we can get people coming into where as surplus vehicles are available and stuff, you might be lucky enough to catch 1 or 2. For the most part, they're going to be, raising money trying to obtain big equipment such as that. A lot of the smaller equipment other squads have, and as we upgrade, one upgrades, they pass it on to the next one, so he can catch a lot of that and to make the job easier here. The good thing is with doing land search only, there's not a ton of equipment that has to be had. There is equipment, but it's not a massive amount that you would need. Compasses, for example. If you're doing land search, a compass and the ability to read maps is very important. All of you know, and I know just for being up in this area quite a bit, there's areas where cell phone service and radio service is non-existent. So all your modern technology goes out the window. You've got to be able to rely on what I call old school technology and fall back to that compass and map reading. And when you have the availability for the modern electronics, is it better? Yes. But when that's not available, you've got to fall back to the basics. And so we have classes and stuff on compass reading and map reading. If any of you are familiar with CalTopo or SARTopo, that's the electronic side. And man tracking classes. We have a lot of different classes related to land search that we teach from the state side. Now the nice part about the second part of the training, we have a list of classes that are available. As Hayden being captain, he sees a class that or him or his members that they would like to have up here that maybe we're not teaching right now with the state. He can fill out a 1-page form. It'll come to me. I'll sign an instructor to it. We put a class date up for it. The instructor will come here and teach them at no cost. It's not required. The only thing we ask is if we send an instructor, they feed him a hamburger or something, and if he, gives some gas money, $10, $20 or whatever. And if he has to stay overnight, put him up. That can be in a fire station, it can be a hotel. And the reason it's not required that we ask that instructor coming as a volunteer also. He's not making any money. He's coming on his dime. So if he's coming to teach your unit and everything, covers gas and feeding a hamburger at least and everything. And a lot of them, I'm one of them, I'll be honest with you, a lot of us, we're going to say no, keep it in your squad. We take care of ourselves. But it is a nice thing to offer to make things a little bit better for everybody. And that way the instructor doesn't have money coming out of his pocket to teach everybody. And there is a multitude of classes. A lot of our classes are, if any of them are volunteer firefighters, the certificates will cross over. So you'll have a dual certificate with the fire college as well as AARS. Rope rescue is one of them, for example. And then if you're volunteers, it's called at fire college. And you can get that same class with us. You can take it and get a certificate on both sides. And if you're an EMT or a paramedic, our classes are CU accredited, or if you're a nurse or a police officer, you have a post, and you have to have continuing education units. Our classes are all accredited, so that way you get CU units for your training to meet your requirements with your job. So there is a lot of classes that are available. A good one that's coming up, it'll be taught through February, March, is we're going to be teaching what we call EMFR, Emergency Medical First Responder. Teaches you how to deal with medical emergencies. It is under an EMT and everything as far as the level of training. But it will teach you how to deal with basic medical emergencies, how to help somebody, how to treat them. It is a DOT 40-hour class, and it is certified. And once you complete it and pass the written exam behind it, it'll give you a certificate that's good nationwide in all 50 states. So if you was to leave here and go to Oregon and join a squad up there, that certificate is valid, it's good. And so your training, certificates go with you, they're all accredited. Maybe that will help answer that question a little bit on the training side.
And also on the training side, like you mentioned, is all the trainings are free, 100% provided by the Alabama Association of Rescue Squads to each department. Just like you said, we'll probably have to feed an instructor a hamburger, but I encourage everybody to come out. If you want to come train and just hang out and learn something very valuable to take with you, take back to your family. These classes, I attended one class at the Orange Beach Conference Center when we had the conference back in November, and it was a FEMA class, and it was a wide area search class, and it was tailored to the regular individual, not the first responder. It was tailored to the regular individual. And that means a lot of taking several classes over the years of, hey, this makes really good sense, and I like this. And so that's what we aim to gain and bring back to Cleburne County. Just like Mr. Jim mentioned with the emergency medical first responder class. Is anybody in here paramedic, EMT, been through school? I know there's two paramedics right over there. There's one sitting right up here, but she's got graduated about a year ago.
I'll have the first responder.
You do? Okay. Would
So you know exactly what we're talking about.
Do you have a recertification in the plans? You do the first course, and I think it's
Yes.
3 years.
We do the recertifications, and emergency medical first responder, the requirement for staying certified is your CPR. If you ever let your CPR expire, you card even by 1 day, EMFR goes away and you're back to ground zero, start over. But as long as you keep your CPR current and do the recertifications every 2 years, you're good.
I'm coming up on mine.
Well, you're welcome to come take this one with us. If you're a fireman, policeman, you can come take the classes with the rescue squads. It's not gonna cost you anything. A lot of classes, I'm gonna use CPR for example. I'm sure you see it in this area up here, because we see it in our area. CPR classes offered, they want $25, $30, some 40. Some areas get 50 and on up. You get around Birmingham, they want $100 for a class to take CPR. We do it for free. The only cost is $8 for the CPR card. So if you're a member, that alone is a big benefit to be able to get it, be certified, and it's $8 for a card. Road rescue, if you go and hire an agency to teach that one, you're looking at $100 to $200 per student. That's taught for free. If you want to be a diver, you get your recreational diver, that's on your dime because that's not rescue. But once you get, they have standards there that's outside our realm. But once you get your recreational diver and you want to become a rescue diver, then we're going to take care of that and we're going to get you fixed up. It's going to be minimal expense. Basically, it's going to cost you your oxygen you use in the bottle. To refill the bottle, it's like $5. So if you burn 2 bottles in class, it's $10 an hour, for example. We're not charging you for the diver class to teach you how to use it. And we can take you all the way through to master diver. There is a ton of resources available that we don't charge for. To be honest with you, being in the rescue squad, you have a wealth of resources available training-wise for certifications and skill sets. A lot of these skill sets can be used in other areas. One good example, a drone operator. You have to have a 107A license to be able to fly a drone. Well, we'll help get you that 107A license. And then, your squad will pick up that expense. And then, to take the test was like $150. If you go look online, they want anywhere from $300 to $400 for that class. We can get you that class for free. And it's online, it's a study, and it's how you approach things and how you do it. But just for example, there was an ad recently for Tuscaloosa Police Department needing a drone operator. You gotta have 107 to be a drone operator. The salary was $80,000. And that was flying drones like for the football games, baseball games, and public events and things, graduations and stuff. So that they can monitor crowd control and see where instances are and have a better eye on things. But that 107A is a skill set that we can teach you. And there's a job that you can actually make a living with at $80,000 a year. And to be honest with you, I thought about applying myself. But I mean, there's a lot of value to gain. And even if you don't use it to gain money, being able to help your neighbors, there's nothing worse than your neighbor that you have lived beside for years and would do anything for, and something happens and you can't help them because you don't know what to do. That's the worst sinking feeling. And I'm sure there's a lot of times we've all been in those spots where there was just nothing you could do, you felt helpless, and there's somebody you know they're sinking. And you can't do nothing to help them. Well, this will give you a way to help keep them from sinking and lifting back up. And so, are there any other questions?
With the rescue squad, speaking for our station from Macedonia, we have one dog already enlisted in the station, possibly fixing to get another one in. What kind of training, or does it go through FEMA? Does it go through the rescue squad? And what kind of criteria is, like basic?
For a dog?
For
Dog teams, we do have criteria for them, and they would have to be able to pass all of it. If they have NASAR, and I think it's Eastman's Guild, don't hold me to that. But, our dog teams can tell you more on that, but I do know they have the criteria. You're not required to have the NASAR and stuff, but I mean, NASAR is pretty close to what we have. So if you have the NASAR, you're pretty much, there, because the criteria is actually pretty close to the same. A lot of NASAR's criteria actually came from us. And so hopefully that'll help some on that area. Any other questions?
So, we talked about the start there, and you hit on a little bit about the fundraising and stuff, and what keeps this thing going. So, as the fire chief, I know that insurance and operating costs will be extremely expensive. Is there any kind of a program or anything like that that might possibly be available to keep alive and keep us from
With finances? They will need at least a token amount to come from either a city or a county commission to be able to go into a DECA to get equipment and stuff there. On the insurance, this squad's raising that money. There's no program I know of available at this time. I wish there was, but just bottom line, Alabama just doesn't have a lot available unless you are a state agency to help the volunteers, just like the volunteer fire departments. County by county, you're dependent on what your commission and stuff can put forth, and or is willing to put forth to help you. In some cases, they're willing, some ain't. Baldwin County, I'll just use it for an example. They're down If you look at the state map, you got Mobile on one side, and you see the waterway on the other side is Baldwin County. They're a pretty wealthy county, and the volunteer fire departments down there, they roughly, their budgets, they have like a volunteer department's $1 million a year. And they get, the money through the county. You go to another county, and they do good if they get $5,000 a year from their county commissions and stuff. It just depends on the area and the geographics. But there's no program that's gonna help them to pay insurance and stuff. I wish there was, but right now it's, with us, it is strictly through the fundraising, grants, and donations, and things of that nature.
Your
So-
experience and, from what you've seen from one county to the next, and in Cleburne County, do you have a rough estimate about what we would have to go to the commission and ask for? I know you can't really determine how many calls we're gonna have, but if we could, we work for good money.
That is basically a squad issue on the local side. The state association, we do not police the squads, and so we, it's an association just like the fire association. So we don't police them, so they're free to act independent. But it's under the association rules and everything, we work together, basically, collectively. And so I couldn't really give you a dollar amount as far as saying, go ask the county commission for this or that. I think they have a home security, correct? That is the biggest hurdle, really, right for that, is a place to call home, because they do have to have a public place to put their shield out, basically, as being part of the rescue squad association. Insurance with a land search team, and don't hold me to it. I can tell you what ours is. I have boats. I've got a 14-passenger bus. I've got some vehicles. I have a ton of small equipment that we use and stuff. And our insurance is a little over $5,000. It's like $5,200 a year. With them doing land search only, I'm just guessing they're going to be probably $20,000, $2,000. It may be less than that. I don't know. I'm not an insurance guy. That's something for VFIS to answer. But that would be money they would need to raise. And if the county commission or the city, whichever one it is, if they can help with that, or they can both work together, that would be a plus, for that. So, everything is pretty much done with fundraising and donation. It's just like the volunteer fire departments, really. Everybody, they see a volunteer fire department, a lot of times, it seems like every time you turn around, there's a boot drive or a barbecue or selling raffle tickets or something. And spaghetti dinners. And, it seems like for that, all they're doing is fundraising. They're trying to survive, and they're trying to get equipment to be able to respond to the payments and be able to help you. So, if the price might seem high, it might be low to you. But I encourage, if it's a volunteer fire department or a volunteer rescue squad, please support them, because they're working hard, they're giving their time, and they're trying to help you. When you dial 911, they're trying to make sure they're able to respond. You can have the biggest, prettiest truck in the county, but if you ain't got the gas in to run with it or personnel to put on it, that truck's not worth scrap iron. And it's the same with the rescue squad. I mean, it takes money for them to run. So they will need money. They're not going to need as much as a volunteer fire department, because obviously your budget's a lot higher. I mean, fire trucks start at 100,000 and go up. And some of them can get into astronomical numbers. And then turnout gear is another ballgame there. But as well as the training requirements and things. But for the rescue squad, they will need money, but not as much as a volunteer fire department. So they can, that's going to be one good plus. Another thing too is right now in your county, correct me if I'm wrong, if a person's lost in the woods, the sheriff's called, but then the volunteer fire departments are sent out, correct?
They are requested if they're asked for by the sheriff's office, from what I understand, between talking with John Daniel and several others at this time.
So with that, the volunteer fire departments, it's like I was saying earlier, their intent is good, the heart is definitely 100% in the right place, but it comes back to the training for specifics. You're not gonna call a rescue squad to fight a house fire. They'll give it their best effort, they don't know what they're doing, they ain't got that training. So the volunteer fire departments can assist, and if they get the training, they can help with the hunts and stuff, and know what they're doing to get success out of hunting for a lost person. But it really boils down to the right agencies being rewarded for the right things. And I hate to say it this way, we're so short on emergency services. The volunteer fire departments, paid fire departments, they get called to everything. And it's hard to train for everything. It's hard to respond to a lot of things that they have to go to. And, with so many different that requires different assets for different rescues. This will help take a burden off of the volunteer fire departments and can become an asset for them as well. One thing that they will have to take is TIMS classes. Teaches them how to handle wrecks and things on the side of the road, proper placement of vehicles to protect the people, protect the victims, and themselves and the equipment. Volunteer fire department gets called for a car wreck. They got 3 people on the truck. They have to do medical and the fire side of it. It's hard for them to be safe on the scene because they're trying to watch themselves, watch the patient, care for the patient, and take care of them. They can call a rescue squad out to assist and use them for manpower to help. Because once they get that training, they would be able to help on a wreck scene. And so they can help with the traffic flow and also help the police departments. Once they have TIMS, bad wreck, you got 5 police officers, just say covering the county. I'm just using that for an example. And they get another call, shooting, stabbing, whatever, bank robbery, another area. Some of the cops have got to leave that wreck scene to go take care of that call. Or either they're stuck there because they can't leave the scene. The rescue squad can step in and help direct traffic safely and free that police officer up to be able to make that call where they're needed in another area where a rescue squad cannot go. So there's a lot of advantages to working together. This is not something to try to compete with the fire department. They're not trying to compete with the police department. It's to become an asset to the community and another resource. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there on it. It will go a long ways toward helping this community to be safer and better prepared for different emergencies.
Like another thing Mr. Jim said and talked about is all the resources we can get. If we have a train accident here right now, Schuresburg has a hazmat team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We don't have a hazmat. We do have hazmat available. It's not through the rescue squad, but just like with the fire side, we're going to call Chemtrack, and there are other units available to come out for a hazardous material scene. We do receive training and everything as far as how to handle the basics of it, but it primarily falls, as far as hazardous materials, we fall primarily to the fire departments and everything, or hazardous materials team. As close as you are here to the military base, military still got no presence up at Fort McClellan and the depot up there. That's where your hazmat would come from this area. And everything, they are better equipped and have the training and stuff. But we do respond on some train wrecks. I had 3 of them 2 years ago, almost back to back. And basically what we done is help secure the scene, check for leaking chemicals, and make sure that it was intact, and set up a safely secure zone so that the railroad hazmat teams, things of that nature, come in and do what they needed to do, and we kept the public safe. Evacuation. if there was a hazardous material listed. You got, I'm not familiar with this area on the police, so I'm assuming, I know you have a county. I don't know how much city you have. But if you're like any other county or city, you have limited resources as far as the number of personnel. If you got to go door to door, getting people evacuated out of an area, every head counts, so to speak. And that's what your fire department, if there's a hazardous material, they're gonna be tied very hard, working to make it safe and contained. Rescue squad can help police to help evacuate while the fire is doing their job on that side. So it's just another resource to work with. The more we train together, the more we can work together and achieve a lot of different things. And we're getting a little bit ahead right now because we're looking at land search only. But those are things down the road that this squad can help with once they receive training. And so right now we're a little bit ahead, but we're looking strictly at starting on the land search, which is the best path forward for this area right now. Any other questions?
One person I would like to bring up here would be Mr. David. He's been in contact with me for 6 months about the rescue squads and how his dog Daisy could be an asset to our rescue squad. So I'd like Mr. David to come here and talk just a little bit about what he would love to do for Cleburne County.
My name is Dick Brownell. I'm fairly new to the county. I've been here for a couple of years. This is Daisy. Daisy is actually a rescue dog. One of the things I've noticed about her, she's fun to be around. She loves people, but she can find anything. And so we've been training for the last 18 months with her to get her to where she can do live find searches, ground searches, and air scent searches. So last training we did, we had a trail that was about an hour old. It went over multiple surfaces, which is one of the requirements for NASAR, and she found the target in 3.5 minutes. So when we're talking about time and need for, getting, she was staying there forever, getting the help quickly to somebody that may be lost, this is what we need. And so by joining the rescue squad, she'll be a part of the rescue squad. Once we get training and certified, then she'll be a certified search dog to be able to go out and do live find searches.
So see, here's number 121 on the dog teams.
Come here.
Dogs are very valuable on searching for a person. And he hit on the point about live find. Everybody thinks a search dog is a search dog. And there are different classes. You have cadaver dogs that hunt for bodies. Then you have live search dogs like her that there's 2 types. There's track and trail. She's on a trailing leash. And then you have open air scent. This dog will more or less follow the scent of a person. Open air dogs, they take them off the leash and they run back and forth. You think the dog's spastic or something, really, to be honest with you, the way you see them running. But what they're doing is they're sniffing the air and they don't follow a direct line. And they'll catch the air scent in the air and then they will follow that air scent to get to them. And then you also have, and this is really unique, and this is just a tidbit of information here on it. You have water cadaver dogs that can find people that have drowned in the rivers and lakes. And you wonder, well, how can a dog smell under the water? They actually are smelling. You put them on a boat, you go very slow over the area where you think they may be, and the oil off a human's body will float to the top. They smell the oil, and usually a water cadaver dog can get you within 50 feet or so of a victim. And so it's always fascinating to watch them, especially on the water. But a live find dog with track and trail like this is very, very valuable in searching. And with the mountainous terrain you have here, she can save a lot of work, a lot of wear and tear on the shoes, a lot of rescuers. And Now, she's not the sole answer. She's not the answer for every scene, but she can handle a lot of it and take a lot of pressure off of them and make your team more valuable. So that is a very valuable asset up there. Thanks.
Appreciate it, thank you. Does anybody else got any questions? I appreciate that WRCC is coming out here tonight. Also, wanting to find out what is Cleburne County Rescue Squad? What is it going to be about? I greatly appreciate that. We appreciate Mr. Bill Wilson also on running a couple stories to get public outreach and people out here to be here tonight and everything else. And also put out our vision with the Rescue Squad, what we aim to do for Cleburne County if we are elected to the Association of Rescue Squad for the state of Alabama. Anybody else got any questions?
Appreciate everybody coming out tonight.
Like I said, we have some applications over here, and we'll roster this